Hey, what's up, everybody? You tuned into the place where you come to get edified with yours truly, Dr. Eddie. How you doing? How you living? How's it going? Hope all is well. Check this out. Are we connected on social media? Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and we don't stop. I need you to make sure that you connect with me on there at Eddie Connor Jr. Come on, take a few seconds right now. Take your phone out. Open up your apps. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of it. Connect with me at Eddie Connor Jr. on there. Join the social circle. Let's stay connected. Listen, I want to talk today about 3 traits of a high character man. I think these are some things that are very, very important that I want to share with you, because a lot of times society is all about a man's money, his Mercedes, phone book full of ladies, right? Pulling up to the scene with his ceiling missing. If he's not driving something that's foreign, he's boring. But beyond just what's on the outside, there are some things that take place with a man on the inside. You know, men have more to offer than just sex, silence, and the request of a sandwich, right? There are some things that are innate within us, and even not innate, some things that we need to build in order to become the high character man that I want to share with you about. One is that a high character man is an emotionally mature man. And see, when we talk about emotions, we don't bring emotions, we make that so feminine and not masculine. Because oftentimes masculinity and vulnerability cannot coexist in the same space. Oftentimes that vulnerability is castigated and categorized as femininity, when in actuality, an emotionally mature man is strong enough and he's mature enough to take responsibility for his actions, right? He's one that has a deep level of respect and understanding for the woman that is in his life, or the individuals that he is responsible for, that he works with. He's emotionally mature enough to hear all sides and to understand this as well, that a know-it-all really knows nothing at all, right? He's got to be receptive to not just talk and just say, I'm the man, but also be willing to listen. Hey, if he messes up, he owns it. That's the aspect of responsibility. Responsibility is not shifting the blame to anybody else, but it's a level of ownership. It's one thing to own the business. It's one thing to own the car. It's one thing to own the house. But can you own your own actions? Can you own what you're responsible for? Can you own the whole fact that, hey, now you need to step into a place of fatherhood? Can you own the whole aspect of there are some things that you need to heal from, right? The emotional mature man is one that he's not leading while bleeding. He's not trying to help other individuals while he's hemorrhaging. He's able to deal with his own wounds and find wisdom in his wounds. He's able to build from the brokenness. Because if that does not happen, this is what will happen. You will bleed on people who didn't even cut you. And I think doing a deep dive into your emotions, being able to not blame shift, but also not being able to move into a place to where you're manipulating other individuals, but actually take ownership for that. Leading with your heart, having your head and your heart connected to be able to be a help and not a hindrance. Another thing about an emotionally mature man is he's not moving into a place to where he's bullying, where he's giving verbal jabs, where he's putting you down, to where he's dismissive, to where he just, mentally and emotionally just checks out, or he's defensive. No, he's trying to find some common ground to be able to hear you, to be able to listen to you, and then also, if need be, able to circumvent some things in his life to be able to provide emotionally for the individuals or the individual, that particular woman that is in his life. right? Especially when you're talking about the individuals that are in his life, whether it be his mother, whether it be his father, whether it be his children, right? Whether it be a significant other, whether it be the spouse that is in his house. Being emotionally mature enough to work through the issues amicably, not defensively. Number two, we're talking about a high character man. A high character man is one who protects you, right? Innate biologically with us, especially as men, and according to much research, our testosterone is what makes us move into a place of we want to protect, right? Protecting physically. But there's another level of an emotional protection that is needed and necessary. Not just protecting somebody from harm, because, hey, we know how to go into defense mode. We know how to go into a Rocky Creed, whatever. We know how to be the boxer. We know how to fight. We know how to do all of that. But a lot of times where we lose the battle is being able to protect beyond just the physical. Can we protect emotionally, spiritually, mentally, psychologically, putting up certain parameters to say no trespassing in this area? And not just with our words, but also with our works. I think is very needed and necessary, because we see our women who are always protecting. You know, a lot of times we say our women are strong, they're resilient, but are we able to ever see them move into the place of nurturing, being feminine, being kind? Not a lot of times, because they're so in the place of protecting, because a man has not necessarily stepped up in that place. Not all, but there are a lot. And salute to the ones who are stepping up, the brothers who are stepping up. Us as men, stepping up to that plate is dire, is needed, is necessary. Because a lot of times we have that hero instinct only for the physical, but will we have that hero instinct for the emotional, for the mental, for the spiritual, for the psychological, right? Because when we have that, now that translates into the physical. And when you think about the protecting, a lot of times the protecting and even the chivalry of today seems to be on life support, if not just totally comatose, right? A man who protects doesn't just open his own door, but he opens yours. A man who protects doesn't want to walk ahead of you. He wants to walk right beside you. A man who protects is going to pull your seat out at the table before he pulls his own seat out first. A man who protects doesn't want to sit with his back to the door. Why? Because he wants to check his surroundings. You know, old school wisdom that is still needed and necessary in the new modern times of where we live. Right? A man who protects wants to walk you to your car at night, if he's in proximity with you. If he wants to protect you mentally, emotionally, physically, he wants you to feel safe in his space. That's one of those key ingredients, right? A man who wants to protect you is not going to have you walking on the street side where the cars are. No. No, sweetheart, move inside. Let me walk on that side, right? I want you to feel safe in my space, because I'm committed to the commitment. I'm committed to making you feel safe. I'm committed to making you understand that I can protect you, and I can show you that, right? Priest, provider, protector. Those are places of the provisionary element that speaks to a high character man. Last but not least, a high character man is purpose driven. Listen, a job is what you're paid for, but your calling, your purpose is what you're made for. Every man has a purpose, but every man does not always walk in his purpose. A person who is not purpose driven is going to eventually cause the relationship to crash, right? You got to be purpose driven in knowing what it is that you were created to do. God never gave Adam a woman before he gave him work. Work came before the woman. Adam had four things. You think about it in Genesis chapter 2. Adam had a place in the Garden of Eden. Adam had a purpose. His purpose was to tend the Garden of Eden. What God had gave him. Name the animals, all that. Adam had presence, not just his own presence. I know us as men, we have our presence, which is, being G'd up from the feet up. We being smooth. We got the wrap tight, all that. Hairline, haircut, clothes, all of it. Smooth. But it's not just your own presence. Adam had the presence of God, to where that presence was able to lead him the right way. Adam also had power, right? Place, purpose, presence, power. Power not to dominate the woman, but the power to dominate his space. A man has to be able to dominate his space, especially in purpose. What were you created to do, bruh? Listen, when a bird is flying, a bird is in their purpose. When a business owner is operating his business, he's in purpose. When Steve Jobs, when he was alive, when he was creating, whether it's software, coming out with new iPhones, he was in his purpose. When LeBron James is dunking, he's in his purpose. What do you do that defines the purpose of what it is that you're in? I don't know. It could be writing a book. I don't know. It could be a business owner. I don't know. It could be a minister. It could be a professor. It could be a teacher. I don't know. It could be a mentor. I don't know what that purpose could possibly be. That purpose could possibly be empowering and encouraging other individuals. That purpose could be going into the prisons and empowering men to transform stumbling blocks into stepping stones. What is that purpose? What were you created to do? Right? Because if you don't know what you were created to do, and if you don't know who you are, people will tell you what you're not. You got to know who you are. You also have to know whose you are. When you're in that place of knowing what it is, it doesn't have to be $1 million that you make, right? It doesn't have to be 6 figures that you make. You can be in purpose working a 9 to 5. You can be in purpose as a janitor. You can be in purpose as a custodian. You can be in purpose as a teacher. What is it that you were created to do that gives you the purpose, the fulfillment, right? Because life is about more than a vacation. It's about you walking in your vocation. You knowing what you were created to do, and then also being able to walk in that. When you know that, it now gives you a certain level of a decorum. It now gives you a certain level of a self-worth. All right, because now you don't define yourself by the money. You don't do it for the paper. You do it for the purpose. When you do it for the purpose, the paper chases you. You don't define yourself by the car, right? It's not about the car you drive. It's about how are you driven. It's not about the glasses you wear. It's about what vision do you have for your life. Simply because you can't expect a woman to follow you if you don't even know where you're going, right? Leadership now dictates the whole aspect of fellowship. You got to be high character in your purpose. You got to be a high character, especially as a protector. You also have to be high character as an emotionally available individual. Sometimes we can't even be emotionally available because we've been so hurt. We've been so scarred, right? We won't let anybody close to us to where now we build walls rather than bridges. But when we begin to heal, when we have a level of healed masculinity, right? That's not just focused on bravado, but also brings our brain into that whole aspect. That's not just focused on what I can get, but it's also about what I can give. It's not just so domineering and dictatorial. No, it's determined, it's decisive, and it leads with love rather than bleeds with pain. Listen, I hope this empowered you in some way, shape, or form. And if so, I want you to let me know what your thoughts are below. Comment. I want you to subscribe. If you're not subscribed at all, I want you to make sure that you join the social circle at Eddie Connor Jr. Share the video. Share. Listen, I hope this message empowered you today. I want to know your thoughts. I want you to I want you to comment below. Let me know what you think. I want you to subscribe. I want you to share if you care. I want you to make sure that you join the social circle. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, @EddieConnorJR. Listen, I want to just spread the love. I want you to stay empowered. I want you to stay encouraged. And I sure enough want you to stay edified. Until next time, I'm Dr. E. I'll see you. Listen, I hope this message empowered you today about a high character man. Listen, I want to hear your thoughts. I want you to comment below. I want you to like. I want you to subscribe. I want you to share if you care. Join the social circle too. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, @EddieConnorJR. Listen, I hope this message empowered you today about the high character man. I want to hear your reflections. What are your thoughts? Comment, like, subscribe, share if you care. Let's spread the love everywhere. That's what we do. Stay empowered, stay encouraged, stay uplifted, stay edified. Until next time, Dr. Eddie.